This is Deanna Reinhardt with Reinhardt and Associates, and I am here just doing one more video. And this is going to be a video on the home buying process. However, I'm breaking it up into 10 segments. And so this first segment I want to do on the home buying process will focus on home inspections. So when you are in the home buying process and you are looking for homes and you have been pre-approved for a loan, I said that kind of backwards. You've been pre-approved for a loan and now you're out shopping for homes. You have found the home of your dreams and it looks to be perfect, maybe even rehabbed, maybe even it's a new build, but someone has lived in it. So a lived-in new build property, maybe built the same year, someone lived in it and decided they wanted to sell. So you say to yourself, should I get a home inspection because this property has been rehabbed, or should I just go without? I'm going to say always, in my opinion, get a home inspection. If you feel like the home inspection is too expensive for your budget at the time, then I would suggest first, before buying a home, plan that in. It's usually between $300 to $500 for a home inspection, depending on who you use. Either plan that in, and if you haven't, then I would maybe have a general contractor or at least have someone look this property over for you before you purchase this home. It doesn't have to be a home inspector, but you should at least have someone look at the roof, look at the furnace. I would recommend, just because of past experiences, a plumber to take a look at it. Someone that specializes in that or knows something about that. You want to know what type of furnace filters the property will take, how to light the hot water tank, how to run the dishwasher, how to turn the stove on and off. Sometimes they put new products in there, and you want to make sure that you know how to work these products that they've put in to your property. So the first thing is you want to make sure that you get a home inspection. So I'm going to put this first on the list. So that's going to be number one. Yes, get one. It doesn't have to be a home inspector, but I do recommend that. But you can have a general contractor go in, take a look at it, and then go from there, give you some information on that property. Keep in mind, guys, when you buy this house, this is not your agent's house, most likely. It could be, but most likely it's not. So you don't want to attack your home, your real estate agent for problems that are going on in a property that is not theirs. So the only responsibility your agent has is to facilitate the sale. This is not their home, most likely. So if you have any issues with the home, the issue is not with your agent. The issue is with the seller or the buyer, okay? And those two people together. So if there's any problems or issues that comes up with the house after you purchase it, it's not your agent's fault. Most likely may not even be your seller's fault. But it is an issue between the buyer and seller, not between the agent and the seller. So agents, make sure you stay out of any type of issues like that. And I know you want to be helpful to your agent, to your client, and we care about our clients, but most likely you want to just allow the seller and the buyer to handle those type of things themselves and stay out of it. I've learned the hard way. Number two, use a home inspector, certified home inspector, and or a contractor, a general contractor, and or someone that remodels homes or something like that, so that they can give you some insight on this house that you're purchasing. Never, if you feel like you can't afford a home inspection, do you go at this without getting some type of inspection on the property before you purchase it, before you sign, okay? And if you are not satisfied with the inspection, ask your agent to get an extension for your remedy time, and then have the inspector come back or have a new inspector come back. so that you can be satisfied with your inspection. So make sure you're satisfied with the inspection. Okay? Make sure you are satisfied. I need to put sure in there because I didn't. So make sure you are satisfied. Okay? After that, after you have an inspection and you are satisfied, if the inspector gets there before you, which typically happens, and your agent lets them in, make sure if you don't feel comfortable with what this person is telling you, that you ask them to go back and go over what happened before you got there. So you are satisfied. Because inspectors do get there early sometimes, and inspectors do go through the property before you, and they make their own report for you. Sometimes they make a report of everything that's going on in the house and then tell you what's going on that needs to be fixed. And sometimes their report is just the things that need to be fixed. So it's up to them, and it's also up to you in that inspector to come up with whatever it is you need to be satisfied. It's not up to the agent. It's up to you, the buyer, to be satisfied with that report. Okay? So, number 3, make sure you're satisfied. Number 4, make sure that you know that anything that you asked to be repaired or remedied that is not fixed on that property, this is merely a request of the seller. The seller does not have to fix anything in that house unless it is hazardous or the appraiser or it is demanded by the lender to have fixed. So I hope you understand that. So anything that you request to have remedied is merely a request. This does not have to happen unless it is a hazard or unless the lender is saying this must be done in order for this person to be financed. Keep that in mind. The person does not have to fix these repairs. When you purchase a home, it is as is basically. You're buying this home and everything that comes with it. So if that house has issues, you're buying those issues. And you're saying to yourself, you like this house enough that you're willing to make the repairs afterwards. That's usually how homes go, new or old. They come with issues. But some you can work with and some you can't. So if it's an issue that you don't want to work with, then you say to yourself, I want to keep looking. And that's why it's important to have a home inspection. Sometimes there's mold issues that a person can't see, even if you get an inspection. So you need to make sure that you are aware of these things that could happen. And not necessarily the seller will know. The agent definitely won't know because it's not their home and they've never lived in it. So once you have requested those items to be repaired that you find through your inspection and the seller has said yes to remedy them or no to remedy them, then you are moving on to closing if you decide to move on. So this is basically how that goes. You basically get a home inspection after you have chosen your home. Make sure that the home inspector is certified or you use a licensed contractor or even a person that remodels homes. They can tell you if they know something that's going on with the property. If you can afford a home inspection, because sometimes we are, tapped out in budget. So if that's the case, just make sure you have someone go in there with you and look at the, and typically general contractors will not give you everything that's going on with the property. They will give you what needs to be repaired. So keep that in mind. And that's good. It's good. It's not a home inspection. Sometimes they won't go on the roof. Sometimes they will. But it's really up to you and that person what happens. So you have to make sure that you ask for things like, I'm just going to name some things, like roof, like furnace, hot water tank, AC. Look around to see if there's any leaks in the property. You may want to make sure that you don't see any water stains on the walls, just to be sure that you don't, or smell any water. Just trying to think of things off the back. Turn on the lights and make sure they stay on. There's no flickering that may give you some electrical issues. Make sure it has GFIs in the property where there's water in the bathrooms and in the kitchen. Places like that, utility room usually has GFI. Just off the top of my head, those are things that you want to make sure are in good working condition. Okay, so number 2, have a home inspector or a general contractor go in. Make sure you are satisfied with that home inspection. And then when you make the remedy request, make sure you know it's merely a request. It is not something that will happen automatically. It is a request, and the seller has the option to say yes or no. So I hope this was helpful to you and informative. If so, if you liked it, please push like or subscribe. And then I'll see you on the next video. I hope you're having a wonderful day and be well. Reinhardt and Associates. I'll talk to you soon.